Jesus said, go into all the world and preach the gospel to every creature. The ministry is totally non-judgmental. It's not traditional. It's very much open to any new methods of being able to communicate the gospel effectively.
We're open. Our door is open. A strong, beautiful spirit of people.
We strongly believe what we're doing is of God, and we believe that whatever you do with faith in what God has commissioned to do will also bless you and inspire you.
I hope those with eyes to see will.
I think. I was interested when I looked through my files, which are pretty dusty now, but I tried to thumb through a few before I came down here. I had, I think, 5 arrests of Fred Harris on breach of peace charges and various other things. Eventually, Fred organized the Hill Parents Association, which was trying to
So blessed to have this great man of God back with us again today. And more than anything else, I know there's a lot you have to say. We didn't have enough time at the first interview to cover a lot of things, but tell us a little bit more about how you got inspired from being a Muslim to having this revelation of God in you as a man who was hurt. And now you're able to impart this to other people and bring forth this inspiration out of other people's life. How did that transition really take place?
I guess the thing that really happened, I pretty much have done everything a man can do. And it still left me bankrupt. When I was a Muslim, I lived in Atlanta, and we'd be making what we call salat prayer 5 times a day, and the first one would be 5:30 in the morning. And I'd raise my hands and turn to the east, and I'd start praying in Arabic. And what would come to my mind is, what about Jesus? What about Jesus? And I wasn't even saved. I didn't know nothing about being saved. And then years later, different experiences that I ran into were drawing me closer to becoming more spiritual. And I was in transcendental meditation and things of that nature, but none of it never filled it completely, and I wanted to be around holy men. When I lived in Massachusetts, I had said I was a director of a drug program, and I got involved with women in the program, and eventually I got a front page write-up, and I began to look back on my life, and I began to see that all the things I said I'd never do, I'd done. My marriage had broken up. I got ran out of that city where I was living then. Every city I lived in, I had to leave. And I came to the end of myself, and the thought that came to my mind is, I must not be in charge of my life. And I got frightened because I said, if I'm not in control of my life, who is? And maybe they may want to do something to me. I got to get control. I got to get control. And I had a brother that lived in Dayton, Ohio. And I went to visit him, and he was telling me about this Jesus and being born again and all this stuff. And I was saying, man, I don't want to hear that white man's religion and all that, you know. And I noticed he changed. He did the dishes. He helped cook and all this. You know, no real brother don't be cooking and doing dishes, you know. And but this struck me because he was 1 year younger than me. And he seemed like he was more old and mature, more responsible and steady than me.